Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. Got a busy day today. Thought I'd put out a quick video kind of showing something that I did recently. It's also a follow-up on I think probably one of my first videos, second or third video, something like that, maybe first. Anyway, so I'm going to show you kind of what I'm talking about. I have those flex switches for my takeoffs for my milk machines. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you kind of what's going on here. In my previous video, I kind of told about how on these things, the cabling underneath, I forget what the technical term is for it, but it goes bad. And so, like for example, this one, the cabling went bad on it, and so I had to run wiring up in there, and I know the wiring for it, so I just rigged some switches because these buttons aren't working. So I kind of took, I'll show you quick. I guess I just saw the previous video about these. Kind of show you what I had done, right? Let's take a look here. So I had this, right? I put these little switches, cover it with tape, use Ethernet cable, and kind of put the connector together and use that. Well, you know, this stopped working, probably the wiring back, you know, flaw, or the buttons themselves quit working. But those switches are really expensive. Those covers are really expensive. It's like stainless steel, and it's got some buttons and stuff on it. Nothing really complicated. So I had, that was my first plan to work around what's essentially been a headache for me. I feel like an overpriced piece of garbage, but so I decided to come up with a different method. And so show you kind of what I did here. Worked last night on this. This is what I've been doing, so this isn't the first time I've done it, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is what I've done. Instead, I took just conduit in this little receiver box. I cut a little bit that was on the back there off, just taped over it, and bought some switches here, momentary switches, and wired those up. Top one is green, bottom one is red. I couldn't get yellow to match, you know, what the lights were for the other ones, just as fine. And then I got this wired here. So the Ethernet runs, I had to put a little cap on the end, okay? And then this will go over it, right? And fit on there. I'll show here real quick. Okay. Magnetized screwdriver, right? Use that. Okay. Sorry, I'm not Travis Kelce. I can't do two things at once. Alright, so here's the wiring. Went and soldered everything together. Fits right in there. Got a little extra cable in there because I'm going to have to either have more or less cable out on that end. And so I'm going to leave this off because when I go put it in the parlor, I need it open. Where's that stupid screw? There it is. All right. So I'll install this and get back. Actually, I kind of decided rather than installing it in the parlor where it's kind of messy, I'll just show you here. So on this end, we got these 3 holes, right? This is one of those units that sits on the parlor. I had an extra old one because I replaced some bad ones. And I've held on to this as kind of my template. So line the hole up there that I made with the screw. And then on this end up here, what we do is that right there. This just goes inside there. And then on the top there's a little electronics board that sits in here and it plugs into, and then that operates the system. So for, I don't know how much these switches were, and I had tons of this, you know, I have tons of this Ethernet Cat 5 hanging around. So really it's just the price of these, you know, these things, the PVC and the little cap. And I bought a container of these. These fit really tight in there. I think the holes are a little small. I don't know why. I mean, I think everything would be standard, but this is what it is. There's a box of stuff, and here's actually the wiring diagram of what's underneath the unit. And so I labeled everything, you know, wire 1, 2, so forth and so on. And then I just, so it's really quick for me to just do the wiring for this thing and put it all together. And I have, this is probably, gosh, I don't know, 7th or 8th, maybe 10th, I don't know, that I've made. So it's been working well. I'm happy with it. It was way cheaper than buying a brand new one of those other panels that just kept going bad on me for some reason. Don't know why. So I'm going to go install this, and then I'm going to run it, the milk pump check to make sure that it is functioning properly. And I'll show you guys that. Okay, so one thing I forgot to do, I'll kind of show you up on the top here real quick. So here's my connector. There's a little red light going. So everything fit together pretty good. Cable coming through the hole there. And I have to put this on. Yeah. Okay. And this just clamps. It's not perfect, but it does the job. And as you can see, the buttons are lit up. Everything seemed to function right. I'd still like to run it to make sure, but I forgot to add up here. Let me see if I can find one I did recently. Here. So I just have a rubber hose that I cut, and then on the back side I got a groove in it. And so what it does is it closes the gap so that hopefully there isn't any water that gets up in there when we're cleaning. So it'll only take me a few minutes to make that, and then I can finish assembling this and test it. All right, so I just got it made, and now I'll go put it on and test things out. All right, it's done, installed, beautiful, and now it's time to go test it out. Shut the valve off down here. It's not sucking there. Gonna put it on milk. That lever's up for wash. Right. So we're looking here. No resistance. There we go. Oh. All right. It works. Time to shut her down. All right. Thanks for watching me. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.